answer for you as to how to make it better. The optimist in me says things will get better, but there's been no evidence in the recent cycles to back that up. That evidence, all we have is hope. So Shannon, I'm going to start with you. What is your reaction to Tomlin saying this?
Well, he makes some very compelling points. Also in that interview, he said that Andy Reid has been every Andy Reid offensive coordinator over the last 2 decades has basically gotten a head coaching job with Andy calling the plays. Only now with Eric Bieniemy in position to get a head coaching job is that used against Eric Bieniemy. Matt Nagy got a head coaching job and he did not call the plays. Doug Peterson got a head coaching job and he did not call the plays. But nobody held that against him, but it's seemingly being held against Eric Bieniemy. So I agree with Mike Tomlin. But the problem that I have with Mike Tomlin saying this, Mike Tomlin has been a head coach for 14 years. Mike Tomlin has not hired a black offensive or a black defensive coordinator. Now, this is what he said. He says, I always do what's in the best for our organization. I believe in hiring from within in most cases. I'm highly sensitive to it, but I don't regret having a black coordinator. Skip, what the hell do you think those other teams are saying? They're hiring the best person for the job. You're doing exactly what you say they should not do. I'm not letting you off the hook with this, Mike Tomlin. You're in a position to hire black people. You have not done that. So I'm not going to let you throw stones at everybody else. You make some very compelling point, but you're the wrong messenger to be delivering this message. Until you hire people of color, I don't care nothing about I hire from within, because I've seen you going outside and hire. If I'm not mistaken, Todd Haley was not within that organization. You hired outside of that. So don't give me that you always hire within. You could have, because you're in a position to do so, but you have not. And you use the very argument that they use against us. I hired the best person for the job. I hired from within the organization.
So the most compelling point of all was just made by you, Shannon Sharpe, about Mike Tomlin. I can't defend this either.
Yeah, I call it like I see it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. And the greatest irony of all is the man whose name is on the Rooney Rule, a founding father of the Pittsburgh Steelers, the rule that requires NFL teams to interview minority candidates, at least 2 of them per job opening.
Right.
It's Rooney. It's the Steelers, and yet they've never had a black coordinator on offense or defense. Man. And so Mike Tomlin's conclusion was, I don't know how to fix it. Well, you could start at home. You know, you could start right under your own nose.
Yes. Hey, Skip, my house is leaking, but I don't know how about repair that? How about to repair the leak to your house, but you want to be a carpenter and go fix everybody else's house, but you don't want to fix your own damn house. Repair your house first, because I see your house is not in order.
So he made the point that we've lost some good black coaches along the way. Ray Horton, he mentioned Scotty Montgomery, went back to college. Kirby Wilson, who was involved in that terrible house fire. But the point is that they just had a chance, you know, to go outside, and he brought in to interview Hugh Jackson and Pep Hamilton for their offensive coordinator, and then elevated Matt Canada, who is not black. So I love Mike Tomlin. I always tell you, if I could play for one coach, I'd want to play for Mike Tomlin. And to your point, he made a lot of great points, except they seem a little hypocritical and empty in the end, because he's not putting his money where his mouth is. So when it comes to Eric Bieniemy, Shannon, the sad truth about what's just happened is that what's Eric up to now? I think it's 14 interviews for 13 jobs. Well, you know how the sheepthink works in this league, and I think a lot of owners are sitting back saying, uh-oh, wait a minute. He's had 14 interviews and never landed a head coach job. There's got to be something wrong with him, and I think it transcends whether he calls plays or doesn't call plays. I just think he got interviewed right out of getting a head coaching job, because too many times he was brought in probably just to be the token Rooney Rule interview. So I feel for him.
Let me look at it from another perspective. I was also thinking about this. Maybe Mike Tomlin's in a situation where he looks at it like, I'm a black head coach, but I can't have too many of us because then what are they going to think? Because we get that a lot of time. I've been in situations, Skip, where you've been black, and the thing that you don't want to do, they're blackening it up. And so maybe Mike Tomlin is afraid, like, well, okay, I'm here, we're good, and that's good enough. But it's not good enough, Mike, because guess what? The majority of the white coaches, they feel their staff. Bruce Arians is the exception. Bruce Arians is not the norm. To have a black OC, a black DC, a black special teams coordinator, 2 women, full staff, he's the anomaly. He's not the norm.
No.
Mike Tomlin is the norm, where you hire where he's black, but he hire all whites. And mostly whites hire normally all whites. Bruh, you keep talking about, I don't know what's going on, but tell me what's going on in your thinking. You keep hiring from within. How's that worked out for you? Since you hired from within, how'd that work it out for you?
Yet, Shannon, what do we say?
You had one great Bruce Arians.
Yeah. What's the league now? What is it? Is it 75% black?
70%
black.
Yeah, about in the 70. Yeah.
Okay, well, this is just me. How can you blacken it up too much? I mean, shouldn't you have about at least 50% black head coaches? You can't blacken it up too much if you have 75% or 70% players.
No, Skip. He's talking about on his staff. I mean, because he's talking about his situation.
Okay.
No, I'm not talking about around the league. I'm just talking about his staff. Bruce Arians, like I said, Skip, Bruce Arians should get an award. Bruce Arians, so Tampa should get the picks that the NFL says, well, if you hire a black GM and the OC, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers should get an extra 5 picks in the top 4 rounds doing what they've done because nobody else has done that. And that seems to me, you know what, Skip? And they won the Super Bowl. So now what's the excuse? A black guy called the plays, Byron Leftwich. Now, he going to need to get a job next year now, or I'm going to need to know why.
Yeah.
The DC, Todd Bowles.
Yeah.
He going to need to get a head coaching job next year, or I'm going to need to know why not.
A second
Keith Armstrong need to be in line for an offense or defense. Because, thank you, Skip, Bruce Arians got a second chance, and he's older than Marvin Lewis.
No.
They talk about Marvin Lewis's age. Bruce Arians got a second chance of a head job, and he's older than Marvin.
Great point.
So don't give me that Mike Tomlin. You perpetuating the stereotype. You feeding that beast. That argument that they use against us, you fed right into it.
Well said.
All right, really.